What's up, guys? I just wanted to make a video today about something I've been thinking about that's affected my business more than a few times, and that is how many platforms should you be selling on and what platform should you sell on? If you're already selling on eBay, is it time to branch out and start adding platforms, or are you spreading yourself too thin by trying to list everything on every platform? I started off with just eBay. I was selling on eBay, and it was just kind of like one of those garage sale stores. And for a while, like that works. You can grow quite an eBay store and do a lot in sales just on the one platform, kind of trying. It's like the spaghetti approach where you just throw it against the wall and see what sticks. Like I said before, that I grew for a while like that. And then I broke my hand in a bicycle accident, and I was forced to leave my maintenance job that I had at the time when I started eBay. And that led to me kind of trying to go full time before I should have. If you are in that position and you're starting to sell on eBay, or even you've been selling on eBay for a little bit and you still have a job that you're like anxious to get out of, hold off. Just wait a little longer. Keep that job as long as you can, because it's so much easier to grow your store when you're not trying to live on that income already. So first off, what are the platforms I'm talking about? Obviously, there's eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, Mercari, Etsy, Depop, Grailed, all of those. So first, I'd like to go over like a few just general ideas of like where I would choose to sell something. So for Amazon, that's like your electronics, your books, both new and used, video games, and just different new things like they have a barcode that you can scan. It's really easy. And then if you're interested in that, you can ship it to their warehouse and have FBA, basically fulfilled by Amazon, have that handle everything. Then you have eBay, which is kind of like the biggest one as far as, it's different than Amazon, but as far as like garage sale platforms, eBay is definitely the biggest. So you'll find a bit of everything. It's a good place to test the market, pick up things at thrift stores or estate sales, and then throw it up and see how it does. I sell a lot of clothes mainly on it. We both new high-end clothes, and then also a lot of vintage clothes, as well as shoes. And that makes up like most of our business. So most of our business is on eBay. And then Posh is, I put the same clothes, and vintage, but like Posh is definitely trendy, newer things. Mercari is what I have the least amount of experience with. So I'm kind of just listing anything that I can on Mercari that will build up that store, build up my reputation and sales and all of those sorts of things. So that gives you kind of an idea of the main platforms, the platforms that I sell on, and what I kind of sell on those. So I started off with just eBay, and then the reason I branched out and the reason I'm making this video is because I've heard some people say that if you're not doing $10,000 a month, that you should only be on one platform. And I understand the thought behind this. Basically, like if you are selling and you're not at that level, you'd be much better off to just focus on doing everything better and faster and get processes in place to where you get up to that $10,000 a month level, and then you can add some in. But I struggled for a long time. Like I had that $10,000 arbitrary number that I kept going for, and I'd get really close, and then something happened and it wouldn't work out. I know that not everyone has this problem, but my store, my location, what I list, whatever it is, always takes a pretty big dip in like the second half of summer. I've heard people complain about summer slowdown, and I've heard people and seen photos where people do just as good the whole time. Me personally, the second half of July and August is always pretty rough. So a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm not doing this again. Like eBay had slowed to a halt. I wasn't sure what to do. So I started on Poshmark, and I started cross listing everything onto eBay and Poshmark. Despite the headache, it gave me a lot more relief because I now had income coming in from a second platform. So like if you saw my last video and I was talking about eBay jail, like if something happens, you can just you can pivot and go straight into everything going onto Poshmark or whatever that platform is. And so then I did that for a while and built that up, and it was, you know, pretty good. Poshmark was probably doing another 20 to 25% of like what normal eBay store was. And then I carried that on for like another year. And there were times when I was doing all the listings, and there were times when we had people doing drafts for us. And currently we're back to I am doing all of the listings myself. So when I'm talking about my experience, this is me doing it all. So I had eBay and Posh, and then another year goes by, and which brings us to 2020. We had quarantine, all of the thrift stores in Michigan shut down, and so Michaela and I didn't list anything for almost 4 months. But there was just a lot of uncertainty, and we were still making daily sales, so we weren't trying to branch out, and I didn't want to spend too much money sourcing because I wasn't sure how sales would be anyways. So we still sold consistently because of the work we did last year, and we really built up our store. Like, we went into quarantine, not with a huge store, but around 3,000 items. And so then towards the end, when thrift stores were opening back up, and I was trying to like jumpstart our business back to life again, I decided to finally add in Mercari. And so now I currently am listing everything that qualifies. I will list on eBay, Posh, and Mercari. Now, I know not everybody wants to do that, and it might seem like a lot of extra work, but it's really increased our turnover rate. So we get to basically have more flips within a month, and because they sell faster. So then you're making more profit, and then from that, you know, you can try all sorts of new things. So when you are trying to decide what platform you want to be on, or how many platforms you want to be on, first question is, what are you selling? And then that's going to narrow it down some. Like, if you have all new goods or all like highly desirable, trendy pieces, then you can stay on one platform. You still have all your eggs in one basket, and it might be good to have, you know, a backup, because if something happens and you can't sell on that platform, it would be a smoother transition. But if you have one-offs or vintage stuff and you just want more eyes on the item, then I strongly encourage you to add in more platforms. Especially now, you can use a VA, you can use something like Sellhound, and I think it's like $1.60 an item, and then there is another small cross listing fee. But I think my first advice would just be like, learn how to do it faster. It doesn't take me that long. We used to do, you know, a fancy camera and then transfer the photos to the computer, and then I listed there, or I would take my computer to the coffee shop and I would list there. And there was so many little transition periods that like ate up time. Now my wife takes all the pictures, airdrops them to my phone, and then I have all the items on my phone. And within the photos have all the information that I would need to list that. So now it's like super easy. If you get caught up waiting somewhere, or you have some downtime, you can do a few listings. And once the pictures are all on my phone, and I have a decent internet connection, it only takes me like 5-6 minutes to list an item on all 3 platforms. So it hardly even feels like extra work at this point. And plus, we're used to living on just like the PayPal or that eBay income. So now all of a sudden, like, you know, you have Poshmark and you have Mercari with the balances slowly, you know, climbing. And then it's like getting a bonus check once a week or once a month or whatever you want to do. Or you can just use that money for a vacation or Christmas shopping. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I always try to err on like the side of caution, and after having a few scares with my account and having a few slow summers, I think it's a much better idea to have more streams. Now, don't take that to the extreme. You don't want to be listing 10 items a week and then trying to put them on 4 or 5 different platforms. That's probably a waste of time. But, you know, 2 to 3 of them, and then slowly building a reputation and like a following and building up your store, that's definitely the way that I would recommend going about it. So And then, like I said, you have more profits to dive in or try extra things or get into wholesale or liquidation. Last week, Mikhail and I just bought our first pallet, and tomorrow I think we'll be buying our second. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, we've talked about making a video, so let me know if that's something you'd like to see. And I think that's all for today, so come back soon. See ya.